Alright, today we're going to be doing polynomial graphs features. So we're starting a new unit. In this unit, we're going to be talking about polynomials. Alright, we're going to start with the graph. Alright, these are polynomial graphs. They have a few different features that we're going to be looking at. As you see, they got swoops, they got little things here. And they always go to infinity, either up and down, or both down. But they're always going to have those arrows on the ends there. And they're just going to go up and down throughout the graph like that. Right? So what we're going to learn in this unit is why they do that and what makes the bumps happen and whatnot. So today, these are the things you need to know how to find. We did most of these before. Zeros, y-intercepts, and behaviors. These are the two new ones we didn't talk about before, areas of increasing and decreasing. And we're going to go back over relative max and relative. So for these, we've got the zeros. Those are where they cross the x-axis. It'll always be something, 0. We've got a number there. Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. It's going to be 0, something. And behavior, that's when we talk about what's happening left, what's happening right. When you do this one, you'll always say as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches, and then you'll fill in that blank. And then you'll put as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches, and fill in that blank. Right? So you have 2 blanks for that. For increasing and decreasing, you're going to write those like we did the domain and the range. So you're going to use brackets and parentheses. So you'll say it starts at 2 to 4, or from 2 to infinity, like that. So when we get to an example, you'll see what that one is. And then relative max and mins, that's just when we have a kind of one of those humps there. Those are the relative maxes and mins. So we're just going to look at some graphs. So to remind ourselves what all these are. So for zeros are the places where the graph crosses the x-axis. So on this particular graph, we've got 1, 2, 3 spots. All right. So we've got -3, 0, 2, 0, and 5, 0. That's where the graph crosses x-axis. Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. We've got 1 on -2. That's going to be 0, -2 there. End behavior. So just a reminder, end behavior, what's happening on the end. So we have 2 arrows. Both are going up. So both are going to infinity. So what we'll write is as x approaches negative infinity. That's for the left side of the graph. F of x approaches positive infinity. And as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches positive infinity. For the next part, areas of increasing. So what that is where on the graph is the graph going upwards. All right, so in this case, that would be from here to here and from here to here. Those are the increasing areas. So what we do is we write it like our domain. So for this one, if you follow this up, it's on -1.5 to 2. So we write -1.5, 2. 2. The second place is over here from 4 to the end, which is at infinity. So we put U. U is for union. It's kind of like an and. We put it in between domains like this. And we'll put 4 to infinity. Oops, that didn't work. Okay. Areas of decreasing, that'll be all the other places. So the places where the graph is going down, that's these 2 spots. So the first spot goes from negative infinity to the negative 1.5. Union 2 to 4. Where it's going down. The relative max, so where are the bumps going up, kind of? So we've got 1 here on 2, 0. Relatives min of 1 here at negative 1.5, negative 4. And another one over here on 4, negative 1. All right, that's our first example. In our next example, we've got another graph here. Got zeros. Got 1, 2, 3 of those. Got one on negative 2.5. Then one on the 1 and one on 7. Y-intercept will be down here on 0, negative 6. The end behavior, so we have as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches. So on the left side, it's going to positive infinity. And then as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches. The right side has a negative going down, so negative infinity. For areas of increasing, so we've got the up. So from here to here, we'll have negative 0.5 to 2. And then we'll have from here to here, which would be 3.5 to 5. For our increasing. For decreasing, we'll have our infinity to that negative 0.5. And then 2 to 3.5. And then one more from 3 to negative infinity. Right, so everywhere the graph goes down. For relative max, we have 2. 1, 2. So one's on 2, 5. The other's on 5, 6. Relative min, there are 2. Got negative 0.5, negative 7.5, and 3.52. All right, so that's those. If you have any questions about these, please send me a message on Remind, and I will help you.